Lake County's 1023 XLC online tonight. And my name is Frank Wright, if you can't tell by the little yellow box with my name in it. And I am here, part of the Libation Trail that is going on with Visit Lake County. This is a great way to support local business, and you could even win some goodies with the check-in challenge that they've got going on. We'll get to that, though. But the main reason why you are seeing my ugly face on here tonight is because of beer. I enjoy beer, and I like talking about beer, and we get to actually do that tonight with a lot of great breweries that are right here in Lake County, and that makes me happy. But before we get to talking about all the good beer, I want to talk to John from Visit Lake County. And John, how the heck are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. Happy Libation Trail month.
Yeah. I mean, this is something that you guys have been doing now for a couple of years, and I'm very grateful that you allow us to be a part of it. And, and again, John, I'm going to be selfish about it. It's because I get to work and drink beer at the same time, and that does not happen every day, my friend.
We're all in the same boat. Cheers.
That's right. And John, tell me about the Libation Trail. What is it about exactly? I mean, I know, but there might be viewers that have no clue what the Libation Trail is about. So fill us in, all right?
Well, for those who don't know, the Libation Trail is hosted by Visit Lake County. We're the tourism bureau in the county, and we represent all the communities. And craft tourism is a big thing around the country, and we're really lucky in Lake County that we have over 30 producers of craft beer, wine, and spirits. So a few years ago, we got them all together under this Libation Trail title, and we've been marketing it really successfully. And people actually take that on as a challenge to go visit them all across the county. If you're from here, but even if you're coming in from out of town, people want to go check out what's local, what's cool, what reflects the character of the community. So we put this out there for people, and it's really popular. It's unique. We've got some really creative, fun people and destinations that we work with on this Libation Trail. So, this is I think this is the fourth year we've done this now, and it just keeps growing. We know there's some more breweries coming in this coming year, and it's really something Lake County's become well known for.
Well, and I think tonight specifically, we have a pretty good representation of Lake County because we literally go from the very far west end of the county to the very far east end of the county. And you know what? I have visited a good amount in between, and including the breweries that we've talked about. I've had everybody's beer that is on this video. So that makes me happy to be able to talk to some of the people that produce and get me the beer I really enjoy. So hopefully a lot of other people understand that the Libation Trail is just a great way to support local and really, really, really try some good local beer. I mean, you hear about East Coast IPAs, West Coast IPAs, and I think the Midwest and specifically Chicago is coming up strong. And it's just there's so many good beers around here. It's awesome. So,
and this month we offer up these little incentives. So
those help, right?
We've got our little challenge where we have a mobile app where people can go and check in at these locations as you travel, and anybody who checks in at 5 or more locations is eligible to win one of these cool Libation Trail shirts that lists all the destinations on it, and other notifications throughout the year, because we do these events all the time, and we want to stay in touch with those consumers who really like to know what's new and where to go. So we made it really easy. Inside all the breweries, we have these table tents with a QR code on it. You scan the QR code, that'll take you right to the app and to sign in. And actually, this last weekend, we had there were over 400 people who enrolled just since this promotion started last Friday in this challenge and trail.
Well, why not, right?
We've got a whole month to go. Yep.
Try to win something too. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, let's start talking about some beer, because that is what we're all here for. And I want to start with the place that happens to be the closest to my house, and that's Phil with Side Lot Brewery. Phil, how are you, my friend?
Good, man. How are you? Good to see you again.
You've got probably the most unique background, even though it looks kind of plain, but you are sitting in an igloo right now, are you not?
I am. I'm sitting in one of our remaining four domes, so we have up for the season. Actually, it's sliced behind me. That's the slice wall. But
That's their well.
it's
Well,
too colorful and fun on the sideline side. It was bad for the camera.
Yeah, see, so you're in Wakanda, and yeah, you're literally sitting right between Sidelot Brewery and Slice, and you're right across the way from Lindy's Landing, right on Main Street, in Wakanda. And you like I said, you are the closest to our house, so you might not necessarily see me in there drinking, but I guarantee you, your beer is in my fridge often. So. I do enjoy that, but I want to talk about the igloo here for a second because I follow you on Facebook, and one of the things that I think is really cool is every now and then, especially on the really cold days, you kind of get your thermometer out and you show the outdoor temperature and then your indoor temperature inside your igloo, so people could get together. And this was a brainchild kind of during the pandemic, right? So you still were able to have people come in; they felt safe because they were with their families, and they kind of stayed warm and still were able to get out and enjoy a beer, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we had 8 of them we put up last year, just as a way to kind of do something to stay open, and and they were fun. Everybody kind of liked it. So we have some propane heaters in them. We always say to think of them about 15 degrees above the air temperature, but when you got a good group going in here and the heaters going, I mean, they're significantly warmer than that. Like you said, we try and post the temperatures on the real cold days.
Yeah.
So don't scare anybody away from sitting under, plastic outside. But
no, I mean, it's a great idea. And when it gets warmer, you guys have a nice little patio out there with picnic tables set up, and it's really convenient. I was there last summer, and one of the things that I really enjoy, and I think you guys are all kind of doing this now, is the QR code, menus. So you could just scan it with your phone, and then, you're able to order, and, it's just, I don't know. I feel more convenient, even though really the menu's the same deal, but just having it on my phone is kind of nice too. So,
I mean, I don't want to say that we slack on service, but everybody sat in the bar sometime going like, the bartender was here right now. So it kind of eliminates that issue now.
True.
Right? You set the order right behind the bar and it'll be run right out to you. So
no, I think that's an ingenious thing that the pandemic has kind of brought on, is different ways for us to get through it and make things easier. I mean, it is easier now to just scan that QR code and place your order, and then all of a sudden there's a beer on your table. So, that's awesome. I'm a big fan. So, Phil, I do want to talk about your bingo, but before we get to that, I want to talk to Mr. Dark Mike over at Nightshade. Dark, you guys are special to me because the radio station's tower is in Waukegan, and I worked the 18 years of my career in Waukegan, and that's where you guys are located. And man, I've been enjoying your beer at Beer Fest and everything along those lines. And we talked last year, and well, Mike, what's new, man?
A lot of beer. We're one of the smallest as far as capacity breweries that goes around. We brew typically 1-barrel batches 2 and 3 times a week. So we have 20 taps, and if I'm having a good week, we can keep all 20 on. So we're constantly, generally we put a new beer on every week.
That's awesome. Now,
since the last time I talked to you, there's been about 50 different beers.
And that I was just talking to my wife about that exact thing, because one of the things that I really enjoy about craft beer and where we're situated is you guys are always coming up with new stuff, and that's something that I think is great. That okay, I really enjoy this IPA, and then the next time I go, there's a new IPA that I'm going to try, and it's amazing as well. And I really dig that there's constant change instead of seeing the same thing on the shelves. And I get that there's staples and year-round beers, but to see some different stuff all the time is really great. So
yeah, we have about 10 standards, and then the other 10 are constantly changing. Occasionally, I'll repeat one of the ones that people really liked.
Sure.
Like we're bringing back an Earl Grey tea and plum Imperial Red because everybody went nuts and drank it in about 3 weeks.
Wow, that sounds...
That was a year ago, so it's not like it comes around again quickly.
That sounds really good. I do like a red ale every now and then as well. I'm not just an IPA snob, although I'm pretty basic when it comes to that uh, with the IPAs. But that's awesome, Mike. And I want to find out some of the other stuff that you guys are doing over there at Nightshade Dark. But Catherine, now before we went on the air live, we were kind of talking about the beer that Ravinia has. And I got to tell you, that's one of my favorite breweries that is a go-to for us here at the house. I've had friends that are like, "Hey, have you heard of Ravinia?" And I said, "The beer, right?" And of course,
You're like, I've known about it since whenever.
that's exactly where we had. And I've never heard a bad thing about any of the beers that you create. And I was telling you about my sister-in-law Marla that enjoys pilsners, and when we go and visit her, I'm not buying her one of the big brands. If I'm going to buy her beer, I'm going to look for a pilsner that she'll enjoy. And you guys are usually the one that I end up getting. And if I even get another one, you're usually in the cart no matter what. So what do you guys have coming up, and what beers are new with Ravinia?
We definitely appreciate that. I love the food truck pills. That's definitely my staple for an everyday beer. I am not drinking an everyday beer right now. This is the Source of Truth. So this one just came out last week. Imperial IPA, 9%. Little more exciting than what your sister-in-law is probably looking for. We use Simcoe, Mosaic, Galaxy hops, and that's really dank and resinous, and you still get those like tropical notes on the nose. Really super fun.
No, that's really right up my alley. And we could pick those up pretty much anywhere throughout Lake County, right?
Yeah, this is a one-off release, so definitely not something that's available year-round. We do have distribution, so look for that at your local retailers, and we have it at our tap room in Highland Park too.
Nice. And I believe we were talking, and again, I know last year is a different animal than what we're even dealing with now, but how is Ravinia navigating all these rules, and especially on the North Shore right now?
We've been doing our best with it, just like everybody else, try to roll with the punches. We were fortunate to have not the whole street shut down this past year, but a full lane of traffic. So we still had just a ton of people packing in on that patio. And we do have a heated beer garden as well that's been awesome, keeping us a little bit toastier, as Phil was saying, on some of these cooler winter nights.
No, and that's great. It's such an awesome spot to hang out. And, you guys are on the opposite side of the county as Phil is, and that's kind of where I was getting. And then right in the middle, kind of, sort of, is Josh over at Black Lung Brewing. And Josh has come to the radio station a few times and dropped off some beer. Well, okay, maybe not dropped off some beer, but I found some beer that Josh left there. And, and I appreciate all that. And that is happen to be what I'm drinking right now. And, I didn't know specifically who was going to be on the call today when I got beer. I was going to stop by Phil's today, but my daughter changed that plan, sadly. So I wasn't able to get over there because I do almost drive right past Side Lot on my way home. So, but Josh, I was at your brewery over this, it was in the fall. We stopped by. And I even reached out to you to let you know that I was there, but more for the reason of I just wanted to say hi to you. But my sister-in-law, going back to using her as an example, because she's kind of central Lake County. So I'm trying to expand her horizons. Her husband, Dan, really enjoys beer. So I'm like, hey, let's go to Black Lung and grab a beer. And that was the time that you guys made a dreamsicle seltzer. And that was outstanding. And I actually had one left over that I brought over to her house for Christmas, and she didn't realize it. And then the next time I went over, she's like, hey, I found a Black Lung dreamsicle seltzer in my fridge. I'm like, I left that for you. And she's like, oh, that thing was outstanding. So, man, you guys are even doing seltzers there, huh?
Yeah, Fizzy was my brainchild because I thought in the middle of the summer I'd try to lose some weight. So I wanted to do a hard seltzer, which is like no carbs and 90 calories. So yeah, and we've done a couple different ones. We've done a blackberry, black cherry, and the creamsicle is definitely the big winner. We can't keep that one in stock.
That thing is, I mean, it's legit. And, like I am a big fan of like milkshake IPAs and, like the Dreamsicle one is usually like, if I see that on the shelf from just about anybody, that's something I want to try because I do like a Dreamsicle, and that seltzer was something that I found at the radio station. And, I was like, this is amazing. And I bought a 4-pack when we stopped and visited. My sister-in-law did. I brought, we've done a few of those. So I appreciate
it's an easy chugger when you're doing some activities.
Right. I mean, it's light and refreshing. And Phil, I know you guys have done seltzers as well, right?
Not what I'm having right now.
Yeah, we have a couple of them we rotate through. A hibiscus, a lavender, one I can't think of, and then we do the NA CBD sparkling water that actually I think he just canned today. I think Kevin just canned. Flow is a fruit CBD non-alcoholic seltzer.
Hey Frank, can I jump in real quick because I want to show John something?
Yeah.
Check it out, John.
Oh, you got it displayed nicely. Cool. Very nice. Very nice. We have a little Libation Trail barrelhead so people can mark their way find their way on the trail. And
that's awesome.
The special export.
Yeah.
The Nightshade and Dark. Do you guys do seltzers ever? Is that something that might be, in the realm of what you guys want to try and do?
Maybe, but again, pictured brewing 30 gallons of something that everybody loves to chug. I'd have it on for a weekend.
Right.
I feel your pain. I do.
Yeah, it might be something we do. We've just started doing sours now. Originally, I wasn't even doing those, and so many people bugged me about those. So I'm playing catch up. Mostly, we go out on a limb with some of the weirder stuff we do. And seltzer, I don't know, just hasn't really struck me. So I haven't done one yet.
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm down with always trying those weird things that I haven't seen anywhere else. And Catherine, Ravinia doing anything with seltzers? What's that, Josh?
I was going to say, you got to stop by now. We have we did a 10% version of fizzy, and we cut it with puree. So we call it fruited fizzy, and the one that we have on right now is I believe it's blue raspberry.
Really?
7.5%, and it's out of this world.
All right. Well, I might have to stop by on my way home tomorrow. Is what it sounds like. Catherine, does Ravinia do anything with seltzers?
We do. We've done a few different things. Just about 1 or 2 weeks ago, we packaged off 2. We have what we're kind of affectionately calling a mango mimosa. It's super bright and bubbly and orange, drinks like a mimosa. It has mango, passion fruit, and soursop. And then we also do a dry hop seltzer with Grüngeist hops. It gives it a lot of like bright tropical grapefruit notes.
Now, let me ask you this, Catherine, and I want to ask everybody this. Since you guys all kind of started off or have started off brewing beer, do you see the future kind of moving towards, not completely, but doing more seltzer stuff?
I think it fills its role for certain types of consumers. I guess I would be curious if a place, opened up with a tap room and it's all just seltzers. That would really be something that would be interesting to me. Maybe that would appeal to others. But I think we're brewing seltzers because it's fun and it feeds some of those customers, but it's not the majority of the clientele.
No,
well, Catherine, you guys are into the infusions big too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we always like to do different kinds of infusions. We have our big infusion festival in October every year. So anything we can do to play with getting more creative in the space, like that works for us. And I think the other brewers would agree.
Well, and that's what I mean. I think that's great that you guys are not just, I'm not open to that, Mike said that he hasn't done one, but, might, because it might make sense. And the only reason why I even brought that up is going into the liquor store now. It's something I'm seeing more of, that there's a bigger space now for the seltzers and everything along those lines. So, I'm just curious. And Josh, you shook your head. So you don't foresee yourself. I don't know, ramping up more seltzers? And I'm not talking about taking over the beer end of it, but doing more seltzers than maybe what you're doing right now?
No, I think just having it at the brewery for the eventual person who doesn't drink beer or would rather have liquor, and we don't have that in the tap room. We just have it there in cans. We do distribute a little bit of it, but it's just an option for your non-beer drinker to come to our tap room and still have a good time with their friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's a great option. I think it does open up that opportunity where, like you said, somebody that might not necessarily want a beer and maybe they're going with a group of people and they're like, no, I don't want any beer. And it's like, no, they got seltzer choices as well. And that makes sense. That makes sense. Phil, do you feel as if your seltzers are selling more today than they did a year ago?
Kind of to echo everyone else, I feel like it just is another option there in the tap room. We also do carry a full bar with wine, so we do have cocktail options as well.
Okay.
I would, I'd put our seltzer on par with, volume wise, just about any of the other beers we do. Keeping it on tap. We keep about 12 to 14 different things on tap at a time. So, that seltzer kind of paces along with them. So it's
Sure.
kind of a fun thing to bring out every now and again. But I don't really think it'll ever be a standard for us.
Sure. Fair enough. Fair enough.
There's variety too over at Nightshades, right, Mike? Because you guys share the space with Oppidan Spirits.
Yeah, we share the space with Oppidan Spirits. He's a commercial distillery, and he has a cocktail bar here. So there's always options like that. I would say more than doing seltzers, I would maybe like to get a winery license eventually, and do mead and wine. But I need more space. I need more space at this point. I've got 11 fermenters crammed in about 700 square feet. So,
and I guess I don't know. I don't know how terrible that is, but I know that I like beer, and as long as you've got those, that makes me happy. Mike, but what other things do you guys have going on at the brewery? You had mentioned before we got on that you have a political thing coming up on Wednesday next week. But what else are you doing that people can come through and enjoy the time over at Nightshade Darks?
Well, one of the things that's kind of key to us is we're close to the Genesee Theater, and now that they're actually doing shows, we have a really robust food truck schedule.
That's great.
You can see on Facebook we don't have repeats. We have some fixed, like we have a barbecue guy that's here every Saturday. We have a sushi food truck that's here every Sunday. Thursday we have a Hawaiian fusion chef now that does like a 7 or 8 item menu every Thursday. And then Friday We're rotating with some other food trucks. So we give the people going to the Genesee an option to come and eat and drink before and after the show that wasn't here before. And that's a 2,300 seat theater. So that's a lot of people to capture. We'll be doing some of the events downtown during the summer, assuming I can make enough beer to sell them. There's a surf music festival coming down by the lake. The Lake County Pride celebration is going to be here in July. We were kind of instrumental in founding that last year, in that there wasn't going to be anything, and I said screw it and decided to have one of my own. And then once there was actually things going on, everybody else grabbed it and took it away from me, and I just kind of went, whoa, okay. And we sold more beer that day than we've ever sold in a week ever.
Oh my gosh.
I still haven't. We probably still haven't recovered from that. In that they drained us of 5 or 6 of our 20 beers in one day.
Yeah, Waukegan does a great job with what they try to accomplish downtown. With the art walk and Scoop the Loop and all that. And I think that's great that you're kind of in the hub of all that and being able to kind of reap the benefits. And it's all for good reason. Your beer is good. So why not have people come through? And with food trucks, like a sushi food truck, I have not had. I like sushi.
Well, it's the former sushi chefs. It's not Bob's Garage or Gas Station Sushi. It's the former sushi chefs from Ikigai Sushi. When that restaurant closed, the chefs pulled their money together and got 2 food trucks. One of them is in a fixed food truck park in Milwaukee, and the other one does here on Sundays. They do ramen, sushi, and sometimes they have a Korean menu as well. And then they just use that truck for corporate events and stuff. But
I got to tell you, that's kind of an ingenious idea for a food truck. I mean, really, sushi, why not, right?
If you can convince people that it's actually a good idea, then yes. And I think it's catching on. They have a pretty good following now.
I think it's a great idea. Well, I'm going to have to swing by and at least try that at the very minimum. But hey, John, I wanted to ask you some more about the Libation Trail. Now, you mentioned that Lake County has plenty of opportunity and choices to be able to go and check things out for Libation Trail. And you talked about the shirt and the QR code and everything along those lines. I mean, how many breweries? Let's kind of divide this up a little bit if we can. And I don't mean to put you on the spot, but how many breweries are participating?
Honestly, participating with our program, there are 21 breweries. There are 24 in the county, so we represent 21 of them. And then there's 5 wineries and 4 distilleries. So, and they're pretty widespread, pretty much all corners of the county, which is great. Near everybody.
I legit love where I live because of that. I have friends that are in different parts of Illinois, and they're not down the street from these great opportunities to enjoy some craft beverages. And I think that's great. And I really enjoyed seeing that there's more options, going back to even the seltzer, being able to go and not buy the big boys, I don't even want to name names, but to be able to go and have a craft seltzer that's true, I think that's great. And speaking of the big guys, I find it interesting to me that the bigger breweries are trying to look more like craft beer and try to label their cans and position themselves as, oh, look, we're the craft guys down the street. And they're not. I'm not saying that their product is not great, but I enjoy being able to come and experience a place where it's made. And if I'm not experiencing it there in that tap room, knowing that I could go pick that up and bring it home.
Well, part of this is the community support. I mean, the craft places have become the neighborhood tavern, the neighborhood bar where people, you go there for games and, after your events, and it's just kind of that gathering spot. So it's more than just the product. It's the atmosphere. It's the community support, especially this last couple of years. People have rallied around it. That you can get it in the can and take it home is great, or you can see it in the liquor store. That's great too. But it's that social, local support that's really cool about it.
No, you're 100% right. And that makes it, like more like you brought up, kind of like a Cheers type of an atmosphere where you could go in and you could talk to the people that are making the beer that you enjoy. And I think that's an outstanding thing to be able to do. So, thank you guys all for being able to allow that to happen. For me.
Actually, I wanted to share just briefly along those lines. This is what I've got here tonight. This is from Phase 3 Brewing in Lake Zurich. And this is a can they did around the holiday time. The images on the can are the silhouettes of all the 30 employees that they have in the brewery.
Really?
It's really cool can art. It's really a great beer, too.
I mean, you know what, John, you bring up can art, and that's something that I think is really awesome. And I'll tell you, like, Phase 3 is very noticeable on the shelf because they're pretty consistent about the way they do it. Ravinia is very consistent about the way, like I walk into the liquor store and I could easily find the Ravinia beer, and that makes me happy because then I don't have to search for it, right? But
I was editing a beer label at 8 a.m., so I really appreciate that.
No, I mean, but really, I mean, like there's certain nuances to all that, and then there's other ones that are super, interesting. Like Josh, what comes to mind for you guys is your Waukegan Pilsner that you did a couple of years ago. And I remember talking to you about the can art specifically on that can. And, I really dig that too, when you guys are super over the top creative and you've got a great artist that makes things and it stands out. I just remember that.
You're talking about Lockdown Pills, and that scene that we put on that can is the lakefront of Waukegan. It is the light tower that's down on the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that
I'm from Waukegan originally. Grew up there. went to high
That was
school.
another great Pilsner too. Are you guys doing more of those?
Yeah, we're doing our Lakeside Blonde, which we've kind of modeled after that beer. It's actually a blonde ale though, and it's an ale yeast. But we've got a New Zealand Pilsner on right now. We have a Dortmunder and a Vienna Lager in the tank. So we're doing a lot of lagers right now. And stouts. We got our holiday Valentine's Day release coming up Saturday. So we got a lot of different stuff going on.
It's definitely the time of year for that. Absolutely. And you mentioned too that you've got a collaboration going on too, right?
Yeah, we just did a collaboration with Riverlands, and it was actually 8 breweries got together, and we brewed 4 beers, all Chicagoland breweries. I don't want to not name anybody, but it's so Skeleton Key, Niskatonic, Wolf Den, Soul Hopped, Brother Chimp, Riverlands, and myself. That's 8. So we collaborated on these beers, and it's a box of chocolates. So it's 4 different beers it's a mixed 4-pack. Vanilla cream, honey almond nugget, chocolate cream, and I forgot the last one, Black Forest cherry.
I gotta tell you, that's kind of an ingenious.
And actually, you were talking about our artist. Our artist, Matt Mays from Kenosha, did the artwork for the whole project. So all these are from Matt.
Well, and like again, going back to the, being able to tell very specifically about that can art, and even though Josh, that you guys change it because you're using the same artist, you can still get that feeling when you walk up. That that's your beer. When I was walking through Benny's and Gurnee, I saw your can because I recognized the art, and that stood out. So
we allow the artwork to kind of dominate the backdrop of the can, and then we just put all the literature over top of it. So that, and a lot of times Matt incorporates the text into for the name of the beer and stuff into his art. So he's got a very unique style. You can pick it out of a lineup for sure, and that's what we were trying to do from the beginning.
No, and I think that's great. And you celebrating your 1-year anniversary out in Round Lake. Which Round Lake are you in? Because there's about 14
we're in the beach,
Lake, right?
Round Lake Beach, right off of 83. We're just kitty corner from Home Depot, right next to Love and Ovens.
Yeah, well, I mean, and there's a pizza spot right by you too.
We got one of the best pizza spots in Lake County, Ron's Italian Ovens, right next door. So they actually, if you order pizza from them and tell them you're at Black Lung, they'll walk it right over to your table.
Today happens to be National Pizza Day too, so that works out. And Phil, speaking of pizza, you guys are right next to Slice, and I mean their pizza is pretty legit and tasty. I put a poll or a question out on Facebook today on the radio station about the best slice in Lake County, and Slice happened to come up more than once. So I mean, you guys are together, but not right. I mean, how does that work with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, Side Lot was actually a brainchild while I was the bar manager at Slice. So our first the first iteration of Side Lot was actually just going to be to brew beer at Slice until the bar we currently occupy started on fire. So that space very quickly became available. And so instead of doing, 1 or 2 beers at a time at Slice, we kind of pumped the brakes and, hey, can we, make this more of a legit idea than a couple of Slice branded beers here or there.
Right.
So, I mean, we are, Brittany, who is the owner of Slice, is my partner here at Side Lot. So, we do have a very kind of close connection. Everybody thinks it is the same place. Because you've been in our backyard here, the fence connects the buildings, so that's our explanation to people when they go, "Isn't this the same place as Slice? Can I get my order over here?" It's like we are connected, but it's just by that fence. That's,
right.
That's the go-to descriptor.
But you could always get a pizza delivered in the backyard, right?
And my pizza place will deliver to your table.
We don't do that anymore. We don't do the ordering with Slice anymore because this past year actually we opened up our own kitchen and back.
Hey, so, I didn't even know that. Oh wait, no, I did know that because you guys are doing breakfast now too, right?
Because we're doing breakfast now on Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah, you could do breakfast carry out from 6 to 8 a.m. on the weekends, and then from 8 to 1 to 3, depending on the day, is we have for a full brunch and breakfast on the weekend. So
Yeah,
we do have our full kitchen now. So yeah, we unfortunately it did rub a few people the wrong way that they can't order their slice here anymore. But I will very objectively say that it's so much better to order off of our menu.
No, man.
Even though it's National Pizza Day.
No, that's that's great, and I'm glad that
Frank, we got to mention Ravinia's food as well.
Well, no,
awesome,
John. You're getting ahead of things.
Sorry, I didn't want to leave Catherine out there, but
believe me.
Hey, we're having our first Valentine's night R-rated love trivia, and my brewery is as packed as it's ever been on a Wednesday night. So try that out, guys.
cool.
Oh my God! I'm getting texts from all my friends who apparently are over there looking for me.
Well, tell them you're busy talking about beer.
We found our clientele.
Hopefully, you're recording it.
Catherine, ironically enough, John stole my thunder, but let's talk about your food. I was getting there. John.
So we have incredible tacos, hand-pressed corn tortillas, a variety of salads, quesadillas, burritos, for anyone who doesn't want a taco for some unknown reason. I don't. So I used to not like tacos. I was a diehard burrito girl. I didn't like tacos. I had never had a hand-pressed tortilla. So at our tap room was the first time that I had a hand-pressed fresh corn tortilla, and I finally understood why everybody else liked tacos so much. And it seems like the neighborhood agrees.
Catherine, how do you not like tacos? Like,
I thought they were fine. I wasn't like going all crazy for them like I felt like everybody else was, because I liked it. I liked my food in burrito form.
I love the tacos at your brewery. They're the best.
Thank you.
But you're right. Burritos
amazing also.
do overtake tacos by a mile.
It just, especially if you haven't had a corn tortilla, like that's the thing. It's that fresh corn tortilla. If you're having mediocre fillings on a mediocre tortilla, you're having a mediocre taco experience. And well, we don't do any of that. So it's pretty amazing.
Catherine, I didn't mean to put you on the spot complaining about your taco phobia at the time, but I'm glad you have come.
Sounds like a
taco today, so I'm challenging my own fears.
Come to the light. It's okay. And so talking about your food, do you see that in the summertime, because of your proximity to Ravinia, that there's that kind of food really kind of excels in that, that atmosphere where people are not necessarily looking for something quick, but easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we definitely do a lot of to-go kind of family-style packages, 10 tacos, big chips and guac kind of scene. That's always been really successful during the Ravinia Fest season. We're actually doing something similar for the big game on Sunday. Cool. So that's really nice. And it's funny, I've been at, it's been a little while now, but I've been at the tap room a couple of times during those like really busy Ravinia Fest days. And you see people just pulling their whole little wagon with all of their stuff up to the door, pick up a couple of 6-packs, a pile of tacos, and then make the little walk on over to the event. It's really fun.
No, that's. I mean, why make your own food when you could come and do that?
And you get a walk out of it. It's great.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to get healthy like Josh is. So I need to do some more walking. So that's not a bad plan. Mike, I'm still kind of reeling over this sushi truck, but see, now look, that's what I'm talking about.
You're talking about can art. That's our flagship beer. I do all my own can art. So
look, and that's what I'm talking about, man. Like the artwork is key, and it's not even just, in my opinion, to grab attention as people are walking past an aisle. I think that makes the identity of the beer.
That's my wife's recipe. So
what's that, Mike?
That's my wife's recipe. It's a blood orange rosemary pale ale. That's probably the beer that we ended up opening a brewery because when we were serving as home brewers and all the beer fests, everybody would try that and demand where they could buy it, and they couldn't. And they did not understand we were only there to try and convince them to learn how to join our brew their own beer. They just were relentless. I actually had people call me and ask me if I could sell them kegs of it on the side.
Really?
that was where we ended up deciding, yeah, maybe we should do something.
Now, you know,
you were going to ask me about sushi again. Go ahead.
No, I liked your
I thought it was a sushi
conversation a
platter.
lot better. But
Nope. Rosemary's Baby.
that's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome. Now, you know, Mike, you bring up a good point, and I want to ask Phil. Like, Phil, you mentioned how the brainchild came up, but I mean, like, where are you getting the muse for your beer selections? What is, you know, making that happen?
You know, I'd say more recently we've been kind of planning them around events. So we have our staple beers that we, you know, kind of always do: the Flying Model Rocket, the FU2 Hefeweizen I'm drinking right now. So those are the kind of ones that are always out. Most recently, we just put out a waffle nitro cream ale made with Belgian waffles, and then a coffee English blonde. And we put those together in our small tank. We kind of used to play with stuff all around an English breakfast, pairing breakfast we did. So now that we've kind of launched a food menu, we have our chef in back, Chef Wendell, who you know, we'll sit around, me, him, and Kevin, who's our brewer, and talk about what we want to do on the menu, what beers we can kind of make to do that. So, like, we're working on summer beers right now, and summer events. So we have one of our special release for this year was the Kingston Rum Barrel Quad. So it's like what we can do for kind of a summer fun rum beer pairing menu item that can go with. So we're kind of trying to build it around our menu to kind of keep our menu in play as well.
No, that makes a lot of sense, and that's a good pairing situation. I will tell you, Phil, the very first time I was ever in your tap room, I was being a very good dad. My daughter was at a Girl Scout meeting down the street, and I'm like, I'm going to Side Lot to have a beer. I'll see you in an hour. So it's been a minute because of the pandemic and all that, but likely you're going to see me sooner than later enjoying a beer on a Thursday night when my daughter is down the road.
We get a lot of we get the dance parents. There's a dance studio down the street.
Yes, there is.
So we have the dance parents. Actually, you know, we swing by Night Shade and Dark when our recital's at the Genesee Theater. And
yeah.
If I had one note, it's, can we please open super early on Wakanda Dance Recital Day? Because it is like
you don't realize I'm
event,
the bartender man. Here. I'm literally the bartender here, and this is not my career. I have a day job. I have a 40-hour weekday job, and then I come and do this. I got to have some time off, man.
I feel you. I'm calling it. We'll make some arrangements on Dance Recital.
We'll make it happen.
Last year was on Pride Day, so I mean, let's do this.
What's your preferred job there, Mike? Your night job or your day job?
Oh, I'd rather do this full time, but I'm not paying for my own insurance right now. So
I feel you. Man.
I'm a federal employee. I work for the FAA, and I have for about 15 years. And this was kind of my retirement plan, was to get this up and running. And it's actually taken off faster than the original schedule. So now I'm kind of, like I said at the beginning, I'm selling beer faster than I can make. And the space that I've leased, I don't have any room for expansion. So I'm trying to figure out.
Take over that distillery.
I'm trying to figure out how to handle increasing my capacity in some way, shape, or form. I don't even have a big enough cooler. So if I could make more beer, I could put more beer in the cooler. So the retirement plan has been advanced somehow.
Well, I hope that you could get ahead of that so we can keep enjoying your beverages and on a grander scale.
We're not going anywhere. I would just love to have 30 beers on tap if I could do it. I would really not hesitate to have a room with 30 or 40 one-barrel fermenters and just brew 7 days a week. I would adore that. That would be my ideal situation. But
it doesn't sound
need
like
more
a bad
room at this
situation.
point.
A lot of work.
Josh, Phil just brought up sours, and specifically, there's a man in our radio station. His name is Don
Wilson.
Frequents your establishment a great deal. And him and I were talking when you were there, and we were talking about sours. And I said, sours are tough for me, but I don't mind them as long as they're not, like Warhead level, where it just is almost undrinkable. And Don specifically said that's his favorite kind of sour is the ones that are ridiculously sour. So my question to you, Josh, is where are you at as a brewer when it comes to sours? How do you feel about sours?
So we've been dialing in our recipe since we got to the new space, and we started at like super DEFCON 5 Warhead level, and that's been Don's favorite so far. That was the Candy Factory Raspberry, and then we went to like DEFCON 4 Warhead level with our second version of Candy Factory. Now we're on Honey Apricot, and at Honey Apricot we're at like 2.5, I think.
Okay.
And Don still approves, but it's not like psycho crazy sour, stuck your face, your brain into your mouth level. So I think we're there now with the recipe. We've got it dialed in. Those other ones were definitely perfect for Don, but he's still in the game with Honey Apricot. And we love making our sour IPAs. It's a fantastic beer. We love doing it. And we keep mixing up the fruit a little bit and bringing it back, and it seems to be a people pleaser.
I'm gonna have to come through and check that out. At least get a sample of it to try. Like I said,
we got cans
for me, but I'm open to try beer. I'm not afraid of beer.
This month.
Yeah, this month, John.
Yeah, February.
John, since you called me out about not talking to Catherine about her food immediately. John, no, I'm kidding. I'm going to talk to Catherine again. Catherine, Ravinia beer. What else do you guys have coming up? That's new that people could. I know you mentioned your new Imperial, but what else do you guys have going on?
We got a few new things coming out. Next week we have Blizzard Van. It's a tropical hazy IPA with pineapple and coconut. Super fun. I feel like we always get like this big storm right on Valentine's. So that was the goal for that. I don't know if it's actually happening, but there's still snow on the ground. And then we collaborated with our head brewer, Raul, and brought a bunch of the women on staff in to brew a beer for Women's History Month. It's called St. Hildy's Fire. It's a Schwartz beer with habaneros. So like easy drinking black lager, but with a little spice to it.
Interesting. That is really cool. I think I want to get at that eventually. Mike,
and that one's a taproom exclusive, so you gotta head over to our taproom to pick that one up.
I can do that.
Everything is taproom exclusive with me.
I live all the way at the edge of Lake County on the west side, but conveniently enough, work in Gurnee, so you're not terribly far. Just down 41, I'm okay with that. And Mike, what do you guys have new popping up sooner than later?
Well, actually, we'll tap sometimes twice this weekend. It's a strong pale ale. It's higher ABV, but it's only about 30 IBU. Got a lot of dry hops though, but I'm not calling it an IPA because everybody has 20 of those on tap all the time. We just tapped a black pepper blackberry sour. I call it a wild sour. It's not a kettle sour, but it's also not like I didn't go out to the park and start putting swabs on tree bark for the yeast. It uses a domesticated wild yeast that called Philly sour that Lallemand, I believe it's Lallemand, domesticated in the University of Philadelphia. It's a wild yeast they found growing in their courtyard, and they domesticated it so to make a wild yeast. So it's a little unpredictable like an actual wild sour, but it's not a kettle sour where you pretty much can figure out exactly what you're doing with your watch. So that's how I do all my sours, because I don't really like the kettle sour process. It ties up equipment and it's just kind of a pain in the butt. So I let the yeast tell me what it's going to make. They don't turn into warheads, but they're kind of more like a high-end Berliner as far as sour goes. We have a smoked Doppelbock that's going to go into a Scotch barrel in about a week.
Wow.
And then in there, we just put back on a 2019 Belgian quad that's been sitting in a barrel for a year and a half. We have a barley wine that was in a barrel for 18 months. And we've got, well, that's everything new that's newish.
Well, I would say, man, that's a pretty good list. I mean, you guys have a lot of new stuff coming.
Like I mentioned, it's just finishing up the Imperial Red with Earl Grey tea and plum, which has so much Earl Grey tea in it, I have to put a caffeine disclaimer on it.
Wow.
It actually is caffeinated to the point of drinking the equivalent volume of Girl Grey tea.
Wow. That's kind of cool. I dig that. That's different and interesting. Phil, now we talked a little bit about what you guys have going on, but what else is new over there at Silots?
What's new? What's coming out? We have the Dead Men Tell No Tales Barrel Aged Red coming out around St. Patrick's Day, along with our Irish Nitro Stout. We're having a big St. Patrick's Day blowout here all weekend long, so Friday through Sunday. We got a tent with live bands and a special menu and all the fun St. Patrick's Day drinks you can think of.
Cool.
And then we have a bingo promotional card going on right now. So
yeah, I see that all over Facebook. It's great.
Yeah, so come in. It's all sorts of different things you can do to check out bingo, and you fill the whole card. You get a side lot T-shirt of your choosing. All sorts of side lot T-shirts out there. And they're not all drinking beer. Some of them are just coming in to play trivia one night. Checks off a bingo card, or picking up one of our Brew Buddy cards. So we have all the characters. We were talking about labels earlier. We have all the characters on our labels. And growing up as a kid who loved Garbage Pail Kids, we made Side Lot Brew Buddies, which is the equivalent. So every beer character, where am I at? Every beer character has his own card with all the details of the beer and the character on the back. So
that is
super fun stuff you can do to check out bingo cards.
Hey, real quick too, you are going to be at Winterfest in Wakanda this weekend as well, right?
Will be at Wakanda Winterfest. We auction off. I know it's hard to see my dome right now, but we auction off a dome for Winterfest with 3 hours of open bar and your own private bartender, who I am going to very, very aggressively say is me, the best bartender we have. So. Own private bartender for 3 hours with open bar, and the dome is yours all day down at Winterfest to watch the hockey tournament and the Burling tournament. And so it's a Wakanda event. It's not a side lot event, but it does happen off of the Lindy's Landing Beach. So
yeah, right across the street from you guys.
Absolutely across the street. And then we're hosting the fat bike ride on Sunday morning.
Cool.
So if you're interested in going to do a snowy, gross bike ride, I'm there to lead you the way.
Josh, what's new at Black Lung coming? I mean, you got your Valentine's Day stuff going on, your box of chocolates, but what else is up?
Yeah, we got the box of chocolates on Saturday with food truck and live music. We do music every weekend, so every Saturday right now, and then we'll do every Friday and Saturday in the spring and summer. We got a big St. Patrick's Day release coming up. That's going to be our Thin Mint Scout Stout. That's our collaboration with Harbor Brewing. That'll be in cans and on draft for St. Patrick's Day, when we'll have another big party for that with a couple of food trucks and live music and lots of beer. So actually, I like to say this Friday, my wife is going to be at the brewery, Mama Fierce Designs, and she's doing T-shirts. So if you come in, we give you a T-shirt and a design. You can color it in yourself, and she presses it and makes it a real T-shirt for you. So you walk away with a new shirt.
Dude, that's an awesome idea.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. We do it once a month, and everybody loves it.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that you guys have all been a part of this conversation today. Before we go, though, I do want to talk one more time with John. Hey, John, run down Libation Trail again for everybody, why it's important to participate in this, not just because of the beer, but because of helping our neighbors, right?
Well, exactly. I mean, visit lakecounty.org has all this information. You can follow it and pass it along. And people think of tourism bureaus as dealing with people from the outside coming into your destination. Well, we do just as much business from town to town. And if we can raise the awareness of these small businesses throughout, we can get somebody from Highland Park going down to Round Lake, or somebody from Wakanda going over to Waukegan. I mean, that's what we're about, is kind of sharing the love and supporting each other. We're going to be doing our Lake County Restaurant Week in April.
Well, that's what I was going to say, John.
And the theme of this coming Restaurant Week is going to be all about supporting the workers. The people who are on the back lines, really stretched thin right now, trying to serve everybody. True. We want to make sure that that's the emphasis. It's taking care of people around you and having a good time doing it.
That's one of the things I wanted to stop or interrupt you with, is that visit Lake County. does an awesome job about promoting from within and talking about businesses that are in our community to our community. You guys do so much with our radio station and just with everything that's involved inside of Lake County. Like you mentioned, you're not just sending advertising to other places outside trying to bring people in. I mean, you do, and that's obviously important, but you're also talking about what's going on in Lake County to people that are in Lake County so we know what's going on. And I think that is an awesome thing. And being the
most popular page on our website is our calendar of events.
Yeah.
So all these food trucks and weekend music appearances and street festivals, those are residents just as well trying to find out what's going on this weekend. And that's our most highly visited page. And we try to keep it up to date with everything that's going on in these venues. And it works.
No, I think it's great. And honestly, because of our partnership with Visit Lake County, not only have I found awesome restaurants that I didn't know were around or near me, but with Restaurant Week or you did Restaurant Rally during the pandemic, but even learning more about what's going on in Lake County with something I do enjoy. I mean, I definitely enjoy eating, but with the beer and everything and the spirits, and it's just a great opportunity to be able to support your neighbor. I mean, I like that more than anything else. Something that's important to me about Lake County and the radio station I even work at is being a part of the community and being a big fish in a small pond versus a small fish in a big pond. And it's something that Cook County could never be able to compete with us with, that we're close knit and we're here to support each other, and having Visit Lake County kind of bring that all together and help that through is just awesome. So I really do appreciate that, John, but tell everybody about Libation Trail, what they need to do to get this done.
Again, you can go to visitlakecounty.org and find all the information. But if you're hitting any of these venues, there'll be a table tent card, and you can scan the QR code. That'll take you to the mobile app, and you can just you enroll and check in at the location you're at. There you go, and then try to scan that and play bingo.
Play bingo.
But once you're enrolled, then we can send you notices about what's next and the next promotion, and just become part of the club. What we really like about this Libation Network is that all of our partners are such great collaborators. I mean, all these brewers know each other. They steal bartenders and brewers and servers from each other. They do all these collaborations throughout the county. It's just a really neat network to be part of. And if we can help talk about that, it's a great story to tell.
Well, hey, Mike, when are we going to collaborate on a beer, buddy?
I got to be honest. One of the reasons I haven't done too many collaborations with anybody is because I've always got 743 ideas lined up in my head waiting.
Well, now you're on the spot. So I found a way to get your beer into cans and into distribution. Let's brew one at my place.
That I may talk to you about.
See, there we go, right?
Let's make a deal.
That's 5 of my fermenters at once.
There we go. Well, I got to tell you, the Libation Trail has done a lot for me, and being able to chat with you guys and go to your breweries and enjoy your beer. I mean, I genuinely say thank you, because you guys are all making great beer, and it's not just the four of you. I appreciate
thank you, man. Thank you.
We do it for you. It's for the customers. Like, we're not making beer for ourselves.
No, but you're not. You're right, but
sort of.
Well, maybe I am.
Okay, a little bit, but I can't drink all of it.
Thank you, Frank.
You guys are making great beer that makes us all want your beer, and it's not just the four of you, is what I was saying, and nothing to take away from you guys, but there's so many great opportunities here in Lake County, in our backyard, to be able to enjoy the best beer in America. Here, let me just explain what I mean by this. My wife is traveling for work, and she's in Ohio, and she asked me, "Hey, do you want me to bring you back any beer?" I told her no, because I don't want any beer from Ohio, because there's nothing really good there. So that's where we're at, because I would rather go and pick up something from you guys than even get something I might not be able to get from Ohio, because it doesn't matter. So thank you.
Hey, Who Farted is in Ohio. They're pretty good.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not worried about that. But you guys are awesome. So thank you all. And if you don't see my face in your brewery, please know that I am drinking your beverages because that is an honest to God truth. No, well, hey, you know what, Mike? I know people in Waukegan that when I visit them, they've got your beer, man. Whether it's in a growler.
That's a good trick. I haven't put anything in a can in almost a year now.
But they're picking up beer. They're getting beer from you. And maybe, you know what? Here is the truth, though, too, is that since the pandemic, I haven't seen as many friends as I would like to drink with and enjoy. But I will promise you that you will see me there in 2022. I will come up and give you a high five in the afternoon after your FAA job.
Frank, let's go together, man. Let me know.
Yeah. See any of the fine shows at the Genesee and stop in afterwards.
Deal. I mean, we were down there for the art walk. I think that was last year or the year before, and we'll make sure that we'll visit. And if Josh and I want to make a trip, I'm down. I am down with having beer. And Phil, you'll see me because you're down the street. And Catherine,
see you what? Half hour, 45 minutes.
Hey, listen. Do you have a sitter? I can bring my kid. I mean, because my wife's out of town.
They're family friendly.
Yeah, man, that's not bad.
I didn't see anything if you didn't.
I'm sure.
And Catherine, Ravinia time is a great time, and I usually make my way out there at some point or another. So you will see me. And if I don't get out there for a Ravinia show, that doesn't mean I'm not going to come and enjoy a taco and think of you as I'm enjoying that because it made you cross over, right? You're a taco fan now.
It's true. I'm a taco fan now. So you got to get over and remember those tacos.
So real quick, before we're done for the night, I do want to ask everybody one more question, and we'll go around and we'll start with Phil just because you're at the top left on my screen. Phil, what is the last thing that you want people to hear from you tonight?
You know what? I mean, not just us, but everybody on here and all the breweries that aren't on here. I mean, this is the time of year to go out and visit your bars, your restaurants, your breweries. So, I mean, across the board, not just because of the pandemic, not just because of anything, but this is the slowest time of year for really the hospitality industry after the holidays. So if you're sitting around and you're thinking, I don't have anything to do, or I don't want to do anything, make that little bit of extra effort to go hit somebody local. Because this is the time of year that everybody kind of really needs to see a friendly face or a new face in their tap room or restaurant.
No, man, that's a great way of putting it. And you're 100% right. And thank you for putting that out there. Mike, what about you, man?
I would say you were mentioning the community a little bit ago. I would want everybody to stop, take a look around, and try to think of something you can do to give back to the community around you that's working. We give 25 cents from every full pour of beer we sell to the Waukegan Public Library across the street. We don't even have signs up or anything. It's just something I wanted to do because of the literary history that we kind of base all of our beers and our themes at.
Ray Bradbury, right?
Yeah. Look around and see what you can take 10 minutes out of your day for and do for other people in your community. Be part of it rather than just a drain on it.
Mike, Waukegan does so many great things, and there's so many great opportunities to enjoy in Waukegan. So thank you for helping that and doing more for the city and the town and just doing cool stuff, man. So thank you for that. Catherine, what about you?
I was honestly going to say the same thing. Going off of what Mike said, we have a give back program that we've been doing for several years where organizations are able to come out, throw a fundraiser. We give them a portion of sales. And then there's actually a line item on the receipt where our customers can contribute to them for the next couple of weeks as well. And we unfortunately had to put that program a little bit on hold for a good portion of COVID. But we've been really trying to ramp that back up because it's been such a great way to give back to our community. And I'm sure we all know as breweries, we get a lot of requests from people for donations of beer and this, that, and the other thing. And while we absolutely love to support that, we can't necessarily say yes to everything. So this is a really great way for us to say, no, come on out. Let's shine the light all over you. Let's really take care of you. So there's more information about our give back programs on our website, and we look forward to partnering with more next year and this year.
And that's awesome. And I will put my name down on that too, because I mean, I need donations too sometimes. You know?
I'm sure your liver is a worthy organization.
Yes, and my belly. Josh, what about you, my friend?
I would just echo what Phil said. We're all trying to recover from dry January right now. So if you're sitting around with not much to do, just get out to a brewery, get out to a local winery, distillery, support your local artisans. We're trying to do something great here and have the products you're drinking made right in your community. That's how it used to be a long time ago. Before Prohibition, there were wineries and breweries in every community. And they all went away, and now we're trying to bring it all back. And giving to charity is huge, and these guys are doing a great job of it. We have certain parties and stuff where we donate to the American Lung Association. So keep doing that too. Just donate and help people out, and go drink beer at your local brewery.
What does that say too? I mean, you guys as craft breweries, the little guys, if you will, and you're all giving back to other charities and other events. And I think that shows a lot about your character and your business model. And, that I think that just holds closer to the heart than anybody else, so thank you for all of that. Not only the beer, but everything that you're doing for the community around.
We're not just selling beer. We're trying to help build communities. So it's a big part of breweries and local options like that is building a good community around yourself.
Yeah. And you guys are all doing an awesome job. And again, I appreciate, and I look forward to these conversations as often as that we're able to have them. We've been talking for over an hour about beer and all the great things that you guys have been doing. And I think it's just a great time to be, you know what it feels like? You know what it honestly feels like? Like if I'm sitting at one of your bars and just, shooting the breeze with one of you and just being able to enjoy the time. And that's kind of what this is all about. I mean, going back to what Josh says, a community where, you have a place to go. It's kind of like a cheers. And thank you all for making that happen. I get emotional when it comes to my beer. So thank you for giving me good beer to be emotional about. So thank you very much, all of you. So let's, and because John left, John got mad because we didn't include him. In this, but Libation Trail is
Lake
going
County
on.
are doing good things for everybody too.
Visit Lake County is awesome. They really are, and like I said, I mean, they support. You're not going to find this in Cook County. You're not going to find this in McHenry County. You're not going to find it in Kane or Kenosha. This is where it's at, where the county really does sit there and try to support their creators, whether it's beer, distillery, wineries, restaurants, or whatever. They're doing their part to give them some love. So thank you for the Libation Trail. Get out by the end of the month. Don't forget the check-in challenge. You can win yourself an awesome exclusive shirt. You're supporting local and doing great things. So I do want to cheers all of you. Thank you all, seriously. And I will make it a mission to be at every single one of the four of you's tap rooms at least this year. I promise that. And thank you very much. And I hope you guys all do well. Have a great 2022. Sell lots and lots of beer and do great things this year. So thank you very much for being a part of our live stream tonight, talking about beer because, well, I mean, what else is there to talk about? Beer and food, maybe? Oh, love. Love is this weekend, right? Love, yeah.
Love.
Monday.
Love and football.
Close.
All right, guys. Have a great night. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. Visit everybody, all the details you need. You can link up through 1023xlc.com for the Libation Trail. Or, of course, you could head over to visit lakecounty.org for all the details there. Have a great rest of your night, okay?